Hey everybody, welcome back to Internet Land. Uh, I will be discussing an individual that I plan to assess or have issues with assessing, potential problems that I will want to target, and also discuss my plan for interviewing a speech and language pathologist. I'll discuss who I'm observing and how I'm going to set up the meeting as well. The student I plan to have assessed is a third grader that I've been working with. His name is Parker, for all intents and purposes, due to FERPA. The problem behaviors I've noticed are hyperfixation, fidgeting, physical complaints, and heightened frustration when asked to do a non-preferred task. His GE teacher has mentioned during lesson check-ins that Parker will often become agitated if asked to read something. Latest assessments place him at roughly a late kindergarten, early third grade reader. He has improved a little bit into the early first grade from late kindergarten with my interventions. However, it's still fairly low for third grade. The physical discomfort he has displayed or complained about consists of itchy skin and having too much energy, hence the fidgeting. He says he has too much energy in his legs. He has to get up and move around, which makes it difficult for these live Zoom sessions. Only get up for 40 minutes 3 times a week, so it can be a little difficult as well. He will also, during reading sessions, which is a non-preferred task, I once told him he needed to slow down and stop for a moment at each period at the end of a sentence. So then he then proceeded to hyperfixate on each period and would need coaxing to continue reading afterwards, stating often that I am supposed to stop at the period. He emphasizes every single word. It's easy to understand him, but I think there might be a bit of a language delay as well. Parker will also fixate on certain objects in his room and has a very difficult time moving on unless his mother comes in and moves the object. It could be a stuffed animal, it could be a picture of something, a book. He will often state, I don't know, when I ask him to read anything. He'll lower his head, even though I know he knows how to read it. At the time, it's just what he's hyperfixated on or what his mood is. He has a difficult time. He tends to shut down emotionally, and we have to do some redirection. The FBA I would want to implement would address these behaviors, particularly the triggers, of course, and the heightened frustration. Try to alleviate some of that and get him reading at a higher rate of speed, because I know if he can do it, it makes it difficult for assessments, and in running records that we take tends to make it a great deal lower. To that end, I plan on interviewing a speech pathologist who works in my area and whom I've known for several years. So it should be a lot easier to discuss various things with her. She's quite the professional. This interview will be conducted on the phone and not in person for obvious reasons, as in-person observation is simply not possible. She works online as well now. I want to discuss during the interview how she manages to establish a rapport with her students with ASD, how she motivates her students to complete non-preferred tasks, such as Parker, and discuss details of my student and possibly seek advice on the FBA. Naturally, as this speech pathologist does not work with this student, I will not be sharing any identifying information with her regarding the student so as not to invoke a FERPA violation. We can't have that. I expect this interview to be a pleasant and informative conversation and look forward to sharing the transcript of the interview with the rest of you. As I work with the student several days per week, my observations will be included in the interview for the speech pathologist to get an idea of what to suggest regarding any social goals and or maybe a possible reward system. I also suspect the student, as I mentioned before, of having a possible language delay due to their low phonics skills, poor decoding ability. This has improved somewhat, though Parker, remember, no identifying information, continues to have some issues with syntax as well. Oftentimes, he'll either read the suffix of a word separately, even though he knows how to read it, or skipping it entirely. Hang on, buddy. Skipping it entirely, like ED, S. I'm also interested in hearing the opinion of a speech pathologist regarding this as well. So that's what I've got for everybody. Thank you very much. I want to thank my son for joining me. And we'll see you all in Internet Land. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.